here to point out to you what we found when we audited the city, what needs to be corrected, and what our recommendations for correction. The bad news that Bolivar got a poor rating, which is the lowest rating we give in our office. Now, that's not meant to cast aspersions on anybody or cause any trouble, but we have very objective criteria on what it takes to get a different rating, and this qualified as a poor. And that means there needs to be significant improvement in operations under our criteria. There are numerous findings that require management's immediate attention, and there's some issues that have been going on for a long time. Now, under my grading system, any entity that gets a poor, we come back 90 days later. Darryl Moore, some of you know him, he used to be the Greene County prosecutor, is the head of my follow-up team, and he will come in 90 days from now to make sure that all the recommendations that we made for improving the finances and performance of this city have been implemented. So this is not the last you're going to see of us. The very first finding relates to the finances of the city. I don't think it comes as any surprise that we found that there were some serious problems with the finances of the city. If you look in finding number 1, you'll see that we concluded that the Board of Aldermen failed to monitor the city's financial condition, and in some cases was not even aware of how bad the financial condition had deteriorated. Total city expenditures increased from $9.9 million in 2010 to over $14.3 million in 2011. And the city's half-cent park sales tax and park-related fees were simply not adequate to fund park operations. Talk a little bit about that. The street fund, the capital improvement sales tax fund, and the general fund are basically subsidizing the park fund, which is not supposed to happen. New Aquatic Center, as you know, had a $500,000 loss in its first year. Well, the city used the capital improvement sales tax basically to pay the debt on the Aquatic Center bond issue. This is, in the Bible, what they call robbing Peter to pay Paul. You got things set aside for certain projects, and they're supposed to be used for those projects, but very frequently, when a city has financial trouble, they start mixing the money, and that's not allowed under state law, except in very limited circumstances, and most of those circumstances were not present. Well, unfortunately, a very bleak financial situation for the city that continues to this day. Our recommendations are very simple. The city has to monitor much more closely the overall financial condition of all city funds, perform long-term planning, monitor disbursements, maximize receipts, and avoid improper inter-fund transfers, and of course develop a plan to repay the amounts to the sore spot, the Aquatic Center. We feel the board failed to properly plan the financing, the construction, the operation of the Aquatic Center, excessive costs, serious impact on the financial condition of the city, and there were some problems with the management contract with the YMCA as well, which are detailed in the report. The city's poor financial conditions result in interest rates as high as 8.5% for 30 years. We estimate the $6.3 million center, once all interest is paid, could cost as much as $17 million, which is a lot of money to pay for an aquatic center. We found the city does not solicit bids or proposals required by city policy. You've got a city code, section 145.010, requires that city officials solicit bids for the purchase of goods or services over $10,000. So it's under $10,000. We didn't find any stolen money for the period we audited, but we saw many opportunities for that to occur unless the accounting controls are tightened up. Okay, our recommendations, you could probably say them as easily as I could. Solicit bids when the city policy requires it. It's over $10,000. Document selection and purchase decisions. If you don't take the lowest bidder, explain why. Discontinuing paying for goods in advance. Improve disbursement controls. And abide by IRS requirements. The good news is the city has assured us they will implement all these recommendations going forward. And in 90 days, we'll come back and let you know if that's what's happening. The city clerk did not maintain accurate accounting records, did not timely perform bank reconciliations, or ensure funds transferred posted were approved by the board, and they were posted so everybody can see them. Now, again, one thing I look for since I've been auditor, and I will tell you, we did not find stolen funds, so I want to be clear. But when you don't have good accounting controls, it gives people a chance to steal. And embezzlement is on the rise in the whole country and in Missouri. Since I've been auditor for 3 years, I've now found 27 public officials stealing taxpayer money. I don't mean misusing, I mean stealing it. And in every case, it was because there were lax financial controls. Now, this is not good news. I do not like to give a low rating to the city. I've spent time in Bolivar. I've been here actually many times just for different purposes, official and unofficial. I'm good friends with your state senator, Mike Parson, who is one of the most respected people in all of Jefferson City. You're very lucky. to have him represent you. I think very highly of Bolivar. I know Roy Blunt has some roots here. Daryl Moore, my follow-up team, has some family here. I have nothing but respect for Bolivar. It's a beautiful city. It's the heart of Missouri. I'm here for one reason, to help make its finances as good as the rest of it. So I hope the city is committed to making the changes that we've asked. These are all real easy to understand. The fixes that need to be made are clear. And in 90 days, I hope I'll be able to report that they've done their job and you're back on the track to financial solvency. You can all go on with your lives. It's an honor to serve as your state auditor. And thank you very much for coming.